people, and welcome to my second ever favourites video. Woohoo! 2 months has passed since I last did a favourites video, which is enough time for me to have new favourite things. So I'm just gonna talk about them.
Dooby 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 doo. Dooby 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 Sophie Vlogs.
Starting with TV favourites. An honorary mention is going to go to Orange is the New Black, because as of 2 days ago, season 3 came out, but I am behind on the rest of the world because I didn't used to have Netflix, so I'm 1 episode away from the end of season 2, but I am sure by the time I post this video I will have seen it, and I will have loved it, and I will have joined that bandwagon finally and be up to date with it all. So honorary mention to Orange is the New Black. I haven't watched any anime for years probably, but I was watching one of Sable Court's videos, which there'll be a link to here. I'm gonna go. We'll see. But I was watching one of her videos, and she always seems to buy and read really, really interesting things that I always want to buy and read. And she recommended Sword Art Online, so I checked it out. It's on Netflix. It's essentially like this online virtual reality roleplay game, which obviously people go into, and then on like its first day of official release, like big scary dude appears and is like, none of you can leave, the only way out is to complete the game. And obviously if you die in game, you die in real life. So it's, when I think about it, it's not actually the most original idea, because I have seen things with similar things, but it just feels very original and very unique, and I just really like everything about it. I think I'm only halfway through season 1 at the moment, but it's really good. And they didn't go about it always in the way that I expected them to, and it was just really interesting, and I really like the whole idea of it. So if you're into animes or you like that sort of type of program, I would really recommend you check it out. It was really cool. Moving on to books, I have 2 book favourite recommendations. Number 1 is Falling Into Place by Amy Zhang, which was really, really good. My book recommendations are always really rubbish because I never want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away. So it's mostly me just holding the book going, it's super good. But it really is. It's about a girl who attempts to commit suicide in a way that won't look like suicide. And it sort of flashes back from the present to like the past, and you know, exploring her and the people around her, and it's just, I don't really know how to describe it very well. It was just really beautifully written. Another book favourite is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. This is my second David Leviathan. I never know how to say it, I always panic. This is my second of his novels, and I know that this was written with Rachel Cohn, who I've never read anything by, and I know they've collabed on other things before, which I now really, really, really want to read, because this was so cute. I can't handle all the adorbs that are in this book. It's Dash finds this notebook in a bookshop, and it's, you know, like, got clues, and you have to follow the clues to find and spells out the thing, and they end up swapping this notebook back and forth. They don't meet each other, they do it through people, and they set each other like dares and, you know, like challenges they've got to do in order to get to the next bit, and then they switch it back and forth, and it's, oh my god, it's so adorable. I read it when I was travelling on a train, which I don't mind travelling on trains, they're fine, it's just they're 10 times more enjoyable if you've got a book to read and you can ignore the rest of the world. And this just, my journey just flew by. This was so adorable and cute. And you know how sometimes books just make you really like yearn for things? I don't know what I want having read this book, but I just know that I want something, and this book is to blame for that. It also explores this topic of you having an idea of a person in your head and how that might not reflect the actual reality of a person, which I thought was really good. This is the second, this plus Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda both explore that idea of people connecting before meeting in person, which I enjoy reading about. I think it's cute. I like the intimacy level that you can achieve through doing that. But I like that this one recognises that actually that's all good, that's good, but sometimes you can get an idea in your head of a person, and it's, sometimes you need to meet them to be like, have a reality dose and realise they're a person, they're not an ideal. It was adorable. If you like adorable books, you'll like this. Okay, music recommendation number 1 is Chaos and the Calm by James Bay. Now that I have like a vague income, I've been buying more books recently, and I've also been buying more music recently. So I was going on like a weekend away type thing that would involve a lot of travelling, so I was like, I'm going to let myself buy a new album, and that's going to be the new album that I listen to while I travel. And this is the one I went for, and I am so glad I did, because this album is so, so good. Ah, James Bay, you have the most gorgeous voice in the world. I love you. Like, some of the songs are really, like, I like to like dance and sing along to, like, you know, Best Fake Smile, and all that sort of stuff, and they're really like, yeah. And then other ones are just gorgeous. Need the Sun to Break has quickly become one of my favourite songs of all time. I'm pretty sure the entire album has become one of my favourite songs of all time, actually, because every single song is good. I like it when some albums you listen to and you're like, there's about 3 or 4 stand-up songs, and the rest of them are fine, but they're like pretty average, and you're like, yeah, that's fine, it's worth it for these 5 songs. And then some albums you listen to, and every single song you're like, I love this song. And then the next one plays, and you're like, this one might be my favourite. And then the next one plays, and you're like, no, this one might be my favourite. And just every single song is beautiful. And I love it so much. And that was a good purchase. Well done, Pass, Sophie, you did good. Another album that I bought for myself is this beauty. I love Florence and the Machine. I think she's amazing. I get lost in her music, and it's wonderful. And so I got really overexcited when I remembered that this was going to be released this month, because I forgot to pre-order it, and then on the day of release I remembered, and I just had this giddy excitement moment where I was like, oh my god, it's real! So I ordered the physical thing, which comes with this massive... Oh, this is confusing. Ooh. This hasn't gone smoothly at all. It comes with this really big fold-out thing with lots of pictures on it, and I don't really buy physical albums a lot because I take the view that I don't really listen to CDs, but Florence's, I always buy the physical album because I like the experience of the album. Like Ceremonials, again, that's just the opening and how all the extra little bits and all the pictures and the art, and it just becomes more than just the music, it becomes like this experience. And so I did that again with this, and it's just really cool. Okay, I'm gonna nerd out about Florence for a moment here. This might not make it into the final cut, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I just really like how Florence's albums always have this coherency to them. You listen to the album as a whole, and maybe less so with her first one actually, but definitely Ceremonials and this one. You listen to the album as a whole, and the tracks can be quite different, they can change, you know, style quite a lot and that sort of thing, but the whole album has this continuous thread that ties it together, and they all flow into one another, and it just creates this overall feeling and this mood and this experience, and I just think that's really great. I love it so much. I love Florence so much. The 3 albums have very distinct styles, really, but they have like this core essence to them, which is Florence. And even though, I mean, obviously you hear her vocals and she's got a very distinctive voice, so you know it's her anyway, but each album, whilst different in style, has that core to it, so you listen to it and you can hear the elements of previous songs in it, but you can see the way that it's developed and grown. And I just really like the way that she's evolved. I liked Lungs. I adored Lungs. Lungs was formative in my life. Ceremonials I loved even more because she took all of my favourite aspects of Lungs, so like the cosmic love type feeling of a song, and then she just built on that, and it became like this almost like symphonic experience, and it was just so much fuller, and I loved that. And this again is quite different from Ceremonials, but it has that core to it where you know that it's her and it just feels like her. But again, it's different, and I just really like how she's evolved. I like that she's developing and doing different things but retaining her core, and I just really
excited about this entire album.
Standout favourites. I love all of them. I can't do that now that I think about it.
It's just freaking great, okay? If you're not a fan of Florence, I understand. I actually get why people don't like her. But I love her, and so that was a wonderful day.